There we go. So, unfortunately, we are on the... Yes, we are normal. I've already removed the replay line, so we don't have... Oh, it's actually out of vision. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Right, on the blue side, it looks like to be the team of green, and I believe that was barely online. And he's going to be playing against the team of Destin. Correction, Destin is with barely online, if I'm not mistaken. I need to double check that, unfortunately. But let me actually check the messages. We should be ready to rock and roll. Actually, I'm just going to get ready here. That's the beauty of the thing. I can actually pause it just before we head into the game, so I can get everything in order. So, let me check for you guys. Community. I can actually see it here. That's the best part, because barely online is right here. I'm just going to get the overlays ready. Where did the teams go? There we go. So, barely online is the team of Destin. So, barely online on the red side, here with Saka and Sheep, as well as Destin. So we can actually upload those team names. Give me a second as I do so. So on the blue side we have Team Refuse. And let me get the overlay ready. And on the other side it is Team Barely Online. So for those who are wondering, this is a best of 3. Now I can actually move into the in-game. You can already see Refuse on the blue side and Barely Online on the red side. So let us commence the battle. It's Destin on Uther. We have Wrecked, he's playing on Rainer. Cripple Pete playing on Abathur. Saka playing on Vala. And finally it's Sheep in the top lane playing the panda known as Chen. On the other side it's Grimskull playing as Zagara. We have Falstad in the hands of BCAA. Conus, he's playing Artus. Green playing Infested Tychus. And Arkham finally playing the Brightwing, Monarch Brightwing to be exact. So that's a pretty cool skin, to be honest. Alright, so first off, we're just going to see the standard start here at the Dragonshire. Often enough, we will see teams moving into the bottom part of the map with 3 members, and then subsequently allowing the rest of the lanes to be 1 and 1. The reason for this is because of the additional mercenary camp that is now in the, or rather that has always been in the bottom side of the map. And if you are 3 against a non-3 setup, then you're going to be losing that camp pretty early on, which allows for the enemy team to get a lot of pressure in. Let me actually pull this one up. There we go. Now you have everything fixed. And for now, the shrines are about to activate. You can already see Green. He's positioning himself pretty well here to try and get this shrine here. And he's actually able to no resistance there from Wrecked and Destin. At the same time, Zagara here also having gone to the top side of the map to take that shrine. And now it's up to the middle laner, Saka, to keep BCCA off this shrine here. If he takes it, he's going to have a very early Dragon Knight. Arkham now, he's going to fall back just a little bit. And going to get himself some healing at this fountain here. We seem to be struggling a little bit with everything here. But we are already hitting level 4 for the team of Barely Online. So we're going to just take a quick look here at the talents. So, Bribe being picked up by Brightwing, Reconstitution, Armor-Piercing Rounds, Frozen Waste, Bribe, Conjurer's Pursuit, and a question mark for Uther. So, probably going to be something that we can't just see it yet. Full Keg for Chen as well as a Chuck, Abathur, Survival Instincts, and Barb Spines. And actually a fight breaking out here on the bottom side of the map. Scone is taking quite a bit of damage here, but Green is getting stunned. Abathur dealing a little bit of damage. It looks like it's the red team Barely Online who's able to easily capture this bottom shrine. So very well done by them. But it looks like Refuse is going to refuse to give up the shrine, immediately moving Green onto the shrine, turning it into a neutral again. Now Conus, he's moving in, trying to lock up Destin, but Destin gets the help of Abathur. There's the heal onto Destin. Destin's still alive. Nice root there by Conus. But it looks like it is going to be Barely Online forced away from the shrine. But it doesn't really matter, because in the mid lane, Saka is forcing Falstad away. And BCAA has to be careful that he doesn't get caught out by the Hungering Arrow into Vault Caltrops multi-shot combination. For now though, the hammer lands onto Conus. Conus taking a few shots here from Wrecked. And the shrine going to get neutralized and going to go back into the hands of Barely Online. Green not having any of it, immediately moving in with the overdrive, doing some damage, dashing straight out of there. But eventually it's barely online, picking up the shrine in the bot lane. That's going to allow Vala to actually rotate to the top lane. Going in for a gank here onto Grimskull. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to take quite a bit of damage. Multi-shot coming out. There's the Hungering Arrow as well. The damage from the Abathur is also pretty good here. Grimskull down to about 2 bars. But in the middle lane, Saka is getting cut out by BCCA. He's dropping his Thunder. But Saka is able to easily walk away from this one. He's going to get himself a little bit of regeneration at the fountain. And the continuation of the fight here in the bottom lane. So now the top shrine has actually switched hands here. Sheep now jumping in, going to stop Grimskull from actually taking the shrine here. And the help from Abathur is more than enough to keep Grimskull at bay. There's a jump at the Grimskull. He might just go down here. One more hit. There's the first blood. Zagara goes down. And barely online takes at least the first kill of the game. At the same time, it looks like I might need to turn up the volume a little bit later during this game. Actually, Arkham now coming in, Destin as well as Rag, they were trying to go in. Destin now getting rooted here, he's still trying to walk away from this one. Can he actually make it? The Envenom is still ticking. One more hit, it isn't quite enough, but now Saka, he's coming in from the side with Vala, dealing some damage over to onto Arkham. But it is not quite enough. Brightwing having the advantage, of course, the passive from Brightwing, rejuvenating spores. I'm not entirely sure if that's the correct... correct name for that ability, but the trait, of course, coming out of Brightwing, allowing her to sustain up her team pretty well. Now in the mid lane, once again, the shrines are in both shrines are in the hands of Refuse. Sheep immediately moving towards the top lane, going to try and stop this shrine from happening. BCAA moving into range of the shrine, takes a Hungering Arrow to the face. And, well, he used to be a dragon like you, but then he took an arrow to the knee. Destin now taking a little bit of damage here as Rex from the side trying to force away these siege giants. They're already wailing onto these turrets. A little bit of damage, not all that much. And expecting Abathur to actually pick up the Mule later on during the game. Mule has already been picked up by Abathur. Where has he actually sent it? Because it shouldn't be on cooldown. It's actually sent to the top lane. And here in the top lane it has nothing left to do. But for now, Sheep, he's going to be forced away from the shrine by Grimskull. Sheep moving onto the shrine to try and counter out the middle lane. But no capture once again as BCAA is forced away by Saka. And it looks like Barely Online is going to be getting their first heroic abilities. Speaking of their heroic abilities, let's take a quick look as we wait until the fight breaks out, what they are going to be picking up. I'm expecting the Storm coming out of Uther, Shen of course going for Storm, Earth, Fire, Abathur going for Ultimate Evolution. That's not really a choice though. There's a stun, Destin coming out, Sakana coming in as well. There's the Raiders, Konan's in a lot of trouble. He has nowhere to go, one more hit, that's all it takes. And it's another kill going over to the team of Barely Online. And with this they also pick up the bottom shrine, so this will allow them to actually take the Dragon Knight if they so desire. Actually, they were a little bit... too fast of walking away from the shrine, so they're going to have to force Rekt to make a detour over the shrine. He's going to be trying to force Arkham off, but he can't really fight against both of these heroes. It's a little bit unfortunate here for the team of Barely Online. They could have actually taken the Dragon Shrine if they actually were able to take the bottom shrine as they were rotating up. Now they don't. But for them it's not really that big a deal. They at least get a tower in the mid lane. That is not going to come back at all. Other team now also Refuse now of course also having their heroic abilities. Blink Heal, Devouring Maw, Commandeer Odin, Army of the Dead and Shock and Awe. Blink Heal has been used now in the bottom lane. Rekt getting jumped upon. There's the stun onto Konus. Another nade coming out. Rekt in a lot of trouble. He's going to get regeneration, but it's not quite enough. And finally Team Refuse picks up a return kill against Barely Online. For now though, top shrine still a heavy point of contest as Grimskull's moving in again with the Roaches. Sheep just tanking it up with this fortifying brew. It's very good for that Shan, and who actually is building a non-kick based build. Pressure point, it has to be taken here. Fight or flight. It actually cleanses all movement impairing effects and makes you unstoppable for 2 seconds. So there's, if Raynor wants to run, he can run. Most likely he's going to be picking up the regenerative, the activated ability of his passive so that he can continue running away whenever he so desires. Mule coming out, Shield coming out, this bottom lane is pretty safe. Actually, what are you doing, Mule? Stop healing the gate, start healing the tower. Apparently Mule more interested in actually healing up the ammo capacity of the tower rather than repairing a tower itself. Still, we're about 8 minutes in and still no Dragonite. Oh, there's Rain of Vengeance. BCAA getting taken out. It's in a 1 versus 1 situation, and this already shows how powerful Vala is at this point, even though they're equal level. Arkham moving towards the middle lane, going to try and, well, at least compensate for the loss of the Falstad in the middle lane. But Saka now on her own, on her horse, is trying her best to force this lane straight into the enemy tower. Bottom lane shrine being taken here by Destin, barely online, are finally getting their second shrine. Can they actually make their way to the middle lane? Saka moving in, Arkham getting into position. There's the damage onto Saka. That's at the very least going to force him away. Now, Uther coming in as Falstad comes in as well. BCCA, he gets locked up. There's the ultimate evolution as well. Nicely done there by both Arkham and BCAA. With the barrel roll and the blink heal, they were able to escape from this one. For now in the bottom lane, Konus has already taken back the bottom shrine, and so the status quo remains. No Dragonite for about 10 minutes. I think this is going to be a record. Cripple now coming in. He's unfortunately just a ultimate evolution, and he's going to be falling pretty soon. And this is also something that happened in the last patch, where Abathur no longer gets his cooldown during ultimate evolution. He has to wait until it finally gets taken out. So sometimes it's better to just run the ultimate evolution into a wall or into a tower, which will allow the ultimate evolution to time out earlier. Now Sheep in the top lane, he's going to be tanking up these towers. Has already gotten rid of most of the ammunition here. So as one of the towers has fallen, looking to actually get the gate as well. There's the burn coming out from Sheep. The roach is being dropped by Grimskull as Grimskull decides, you're not getting this tower nor this gate. Not yet. In the middle lane though, Saka dealing so much damage to the tower. Immediately running away from this one. And that's the advantage of the Hatred stack. Speaking of Hatreds, Sprint being picked up for Destin. We're looking at a touch of Honey for Chen, Assault Strain for Abathur, Giant Killer for Raynor, and Vala going for the Frost Shot. On the other side, it's Rewind for Brightwing, Zagara picking up the Mutalisk, Lead Rain for Tychus, Relentless for Artis, and finally Falstad picking up the Rewind. And also level 16 for Barely Online, allowing them to pick up the Imposing Presence, the Combination Attack, Locust Blood, Bullseye, and the Tumble. For now, Arkham and Konus, they're just sitting here waiting for Destin to actually make a wrong move. If it's Rek who actually just fires out a puncturing shot, immediately finds out, oh, there's someone in the bush. For now, it's just Destin and Rek who are doing their best on just holding back the lane. That's all they have to do right now, because in the top lane, Cripple Pete has already moved in to try and help with pushing this top lane, and it's pretty successful. All the walls are gone, the towers are gone, as well as the gate. So things are looking pretty good here for Barely Online, who might not have been able to translate their advantage into, or rather transform their small advantage into a big advantage, but they're getting there slowly but surely. Here's the stone to green, immediately the ultimate coming out from both Uther and Vala. That's going to be the end of those. Now they're on to Arkham. Arkham in a lot of trouble, but he will be able to escape from this one. And very well done. This is going to give the shrine back to the team of Barely Online. And if Destin just stays on this shrine, that way Saka can move to the middle lane and maybe do something about these, rather pick up the Dragonite. There's the Banelings coming out. Saka, well, he's going to be greeted by 4 members of the team Refuse. There's a stun to Arkham. Arkham still regenerating. Konus now looking for the stun here. The Devouring Maw to Destin. Destin knows, okay, I am toast. Speaking of being toast, he's just running in, trying to sprint out of there. Actually gets out of there. Sheep comes in for the root for just a little bit. Now Cripple Pete coming in as the ultimate evolution, trying to deal as much damage as he can. They're trying to lock up Grimskull as Konus is forcing away the entirety of Barely Online. Sheep, last minute ultimate there to try and survive. Grimskull actually also surviving here, and it looks like Barely Online is in a bad position. We'll have to retreat for now. Konus still at full hit points, most likely courtesy of Army of the Dead. Overdrive once again coming out from green. Mutalisk trying to get some damage done onto these towers, but not all that much. This is the advantage, of course, having an Abathur on your team with the Mule. It's going to allow him to get the towers up and running again. Mule should be available in just a few seconds, so I'm expecting him to drop it in the bottom lane. Finally, the top shrine goes over to Team Refuse, and the Dragonite's still not taken up, picked up. Top lane, it took a while, but Avatar has finally picked up the top fort, and that is going to be accelerating the team of Barely Online just a little bit more here, as all mercenaries are also being picked up here. 2 bruiser camps, one for each team. Actually, the other was already taken out. Now Avatar heading towards the top shrine. This is going to be an easy pickup for Sheep here if he decides to run straight towards the shrines. Bottom lane, a little bit of a fight here breaking out. So much damage being put down onto these towers. It looks like they are deciding, well, we want the 5-man push in the bottom lane, but that's going to allow Saka to pick up the Dragon Knight. And with the Dragon Knight now in the hands of Saka, he's just going to go straight for the enemy fort. And you can see Team Refuse immediately scrambling to get themselves back into position to try and stop this Dragon Knight. Already half of the team is there, but Saka decides, not half of the team. I'm just going to try and take down this fort here. Fort now down to half hit points. The rest of Barely Online moving in as well. One of the towers is still surviving, but almost out of ammunition. Saka moving in. Green in a lot of trouble. He's getting stunned. Beautiful Divine Storm there. Green now actually forced to pop his overdrive. Will be able to survive this one, but Barely Online, as they pick up yet another tower and another fort, are accelerating their lead even more. Top lane, Bruiser Camp has already made quick work of this gate as well as the towers. And Barely Online, with the Dragon Knight still in their possession, moved down to the bottom lane. Saka tanking up the turret, and with wrecked Destiny's Sheep there as well. This turret is easy pickings for the Dragon Knight. So finally, Critterize, Blood Expansion, Stoneskin, Stoneskin. Say that 3 times fast. Well, Stoneskin. Now Saka in a lot of trouble. Might get hit by the root here. There's the Death Pulse. The root landing on the Saka. Saka in a lot of trouble. The Radiant Vengeance coming out as well. There's the Odin being popped. The Radiant's Raiders as well. Saka dangerously low, trying to get out there. Will get the heals from the fountain, so he will survive the Devouring Maw. Actually catching only 2 members, so it wasn't the ultimate Devouring Maw, but it came pretty close. Now Destiny in a lot of trouble. He's going to get popped. Sheep, he still has his ultimate. Finally pops it. It took quite a while, but Tychus is going to go down. Now they're on to BCAA. He is going to fall as well. Final member of the team of Refuse is going to go down. Brightwing goes down. And this might be exactly what the team of Barely Online was looking for. They could actually push for the next... No, they can't get the core. There are still keeps in the way. So those are going to be slowing down the team of Barely Online by quite a bit. But they're going to be able to get some siege minions here. They're going to get themselves a lot of pressure. And actually picked up their second heroic abilities. Bolt of the Storm for both Raynor and Vala. Evolution Master for Adather. Resurgence of the Storm for Jen. And Divine Hurricane for Uther. All pretty standard abilities, if I say so myself. Actually, it looks like Barely Online, even with their full the domination of the enemy team, is unable to actually take down the fort. So a little bit unfortunate for them, but well, fortunate of course for the team of Refuse to get the second chance at life. Bottom Bruiser Camp now also being picked up here by Barely Online, putting down even more pressure as they're moving into position to get themselves some shrines. You can already see Jen, in anticipation of what's going to happen, has already teleported back to base with the Heartstone. And yet another siege camp going into that bottom lane. So now Bruiser Camp, a siege camp. The second siege camp has already been taken out because it's no longer here on the map. But Barely Online looking to pick up yet another fight. Sheep heading into the top lane. Correction, it's going to be Cripple Pete who is heading towards the top shrine. Picks that one up. In bottom lane, the blue shrine, rather the moon shrine, going over to Team Refuse. Actually, they were just a little bit too late. And now finally they pick up both shrines, allowing most likely Uther or Sheep to pick up the Dragon Knight here. BCAA being zoned away by Sheep, and that means a free pickup for the team of Barely Online. They're going to be moving in right now. They have the Dragon Knight on their side. And they have an open keep. They actually have 2 open keeps, if we count these, rather the top fort as demolished as well. But Destin decides, okay, we're going straight into the bottom lane. Cripple Pete using the ultimate evolution immediately onto Vala just for some more damage. Destin now going to try and tank up the tower, but Sheep seems to be a little bit more, well, of a potent target for the keep. This first keep is going to be falling right here. Devouring Maw coming out. It's only hitting Vala here, so not all that much. Rain of Vengeance is available. It has been popped by both of the Valas. One Ultimate Evolution, one normal. Sagara goes down. Now they're on to Konus. Arthas in a lot of trouble. He has Army to Death, so he will survive. Saka trying to chase down BCAA. Saka actually has to be very careful, and Venom is going to try and take him out. One more hit, that's all it takes. But he will be able to survive. Arkham, though, is not so lucky. He's going to get taken out by Rectus Sheep. Sheep now still has his ultimate. Green also in a lot of trouble as Destin is doing quite a bit of damage. There's no Divine Hurricane as Destin is still in his dragon form. He's now turning his attention towards his keep here as the fight continues. Keep already down to half hit points. Dragonite down to about 10% hit points, but doesn't really matter. Only 10 seconds left on the Dragonite. Destin thinking about going for the core, but he knows, okay, this shield is just a little bit better than the damage that Dragonite has, so I'm just going to explode, poof, and push back Konus, allowing Destin to immediately sprint the hell out of there. Barely online with their advantage now, moving into the top lane as well. Abathur already sending in those locusts to try and take out these towers. The well's going to definitely go down, that's a given. This tower might be a little bit more lucky if Grimskull can land his banelings, but it's going to be very close though. Camps being picked up on both sides. Siege Giants in the bottom lane. Bruiser Camp in the top lane. Koda's now getting chased down by Rekt, and Saka, he doesn't really have anywhere to go. Brightwing coming in. There's a Rain of Vengeance locking on both Arkham and Konus. The chase is on. Destin is now into position here. The Bottle Storm from Rekt, putting him in a perfect position to combine it with the Divine Hurricane. Artis goes down. Brightwing goes down, and it looks like it's all but over for Team Refuse as Barely Online is grouping up. 5-man push here. Bruiser's in the top lane. Green is the next target. He's going to fall. And this core is looking mighty juicy for the team of Barely Online. First though, they're going to be focusing on the towers, going to play it by the numbers, play it safe. As the Bruiser Camp is slowly but surely pushing into the top lane. Now onto the keep. Sheep already tanking it up just a little bit. Crippled Pete has to be a little bit careful, but fortunately he's only a ultimate evolution, so no experience gained. Oh, Grimskull just getting wiped here by... Oh, Sheep! Sheep with the nice dodge there on the Devouring Maw with his Storm Earth Fire ultimate. And now, with all keeps down, it looks like it's all but over for the team of Refuse. Barely Online, already on the core. All lanes are pushing in. Vala moving in as well. She has Bolt Storm. Might even use it to get into position a little bit faster. Core down to 90%. Falstad just gets wiped by the Divine Hurricane. And it is Barely Online taking home game number 1 in this Vessel 3 but against Team Refuse. One. Before we do so, we're just going to be getting ourselves a little bit of sound added to the game, because everybody loves to hear the sounds in the background. There we go. Right, so again in the blue trunks it is the team... Oh, correction, they actually switched sides, so Destin now on the red side. Let me actually fix that. Oh, apparently the sound was broken. Thank you guys for noticing. Let me actually pull up the overlays here. So it's on the Barely Online, currently 1 ahead. And on the red side it is Refuse 0. Okay, so we can hop into the in-game screen. There we go. Heroes. Let's make it happen. Alright, Sheep, Cripple Pete, Rekt, Saka and Destin. Uther, Tyrael, Falstad, Jen and Illidan. On the other side it's Green, Konus, Arkham, Grimskull and finally BCAA, Rhaegar, Artis, Zeratul, Stitches and Raynar. So both teams immediately moving in, and the interesting part here about Barely Online is the fact that they immediately move towards the what I like to call the SK brush. If you were watching SK Gaming during the initial stages of all the tournaments, I believe in early September, October, SK would go into that brush every single time. Every single time. It wasn't even remotely close. Now Grimskull and Green, they should know that Cripple Pete is actually coming in. The route is available. Cripple Pete moving into the top side. A little bit risky here. If they decide to wait there, he would have been taken out. Zeratul and Artis moving towards Destin in the middle lane. Destin in a lot of trouble. He's going to try and get out of there alive. He's going to have to juke pretty well. Saka and Rek now coming in as well. They're focusing onto Arkham. Grimskull is actually forced to jump straight out with his blink, and that means that there's not all that much damage. And the first skirmish goes over to Barely Online. Grimskull again blinking in, landing his rampage, or rather his cleave, immediately retreating behind his walls. Rex getting into position onto BCCA, but this is not really the lane that you want to be ganking. You're probably looking at the bottom lane here. Speaking of the bottom lane, Saka, he's getting jumped on by Green Grimskull, but with his sword, we'll be able to telesword out of there. Destin now moving in just to try and push against Arkham, and this is kind of the advantage that Uther has. Due to his stun, Arkham has to be very, very careful. Of course, the slow from Arkham, the slow from Rhaegar, it is pretty good, but the issue is that it isn't a hard CC, and that means that the stun is so much more effective when people start ganking. Grimskull and Green, they're already in position for the easy camp, also known as the Siege Giants. As Rekt is moving in on his own towards the Siege Giants as well. That means that Rekt is going to be a little bit slower. Green is going to be able to get this one together with Grimskull in just 10 seconds or so. Well, not really 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. Although, the damage from Rekt is also pretty big. Just not all that much of a difference between them. Meantime, we can look at the talents: Conjurer's Pursuit, Protective Shield, Purge Evil, Amplified Healing, Bribe, Gathering Power, Full Kick, Jug, Immolation, and Battered Assault. On the other side, we have Healing Totem, Farsight, and Venom, Frozen Wastes, Block, Sustained Anomaly, Putrid Count,
Gather tribute, and
Heavy Slam, Heavy Slam, and last but not least, Give Me More and Advanced Optics. So the first tribute is about to spawn here, and we're just waiting for both teams to get into position here. Rekt already taking a little bit of damage here. Saka now fighting with these giants, because if they let... Oh, the hook onto Rekt. Rekt in a lot of trouble, forced to dash straight through his team. Even gets out here. Now the stun to Green. Cripple Pete coming in as well. There's the Hammerang, and that's the end of Artis. Now they're chasing down Arkham. Arkham in a lot of trouble. He's getting slowed by pretty much half the team, but it isn't quite enough, as the Smite is not, rather the Holy Smite is not going to allow Saka to give chase. And it's just one kill, but they do manage to pick up the tribute. And that gives them the first tribute of the game, and getting a slight advantage. For now the push continues. In the middle lane, Sheep already getting some experience here. Top lane, this mercenary is going to get taken out by BCAA pretty fast, but look at these towers, already down to 0 ammunition, and that's going to hurt the team of Team Refuse quite a bit. Rekt and Destin, after picking up the mercenary camp, the bruiser camp that is being sent down the middle lane, their opponent's doing exactly the same, so a little bit of a mirrored fight here. Again, Sheep coming out with his Fire Blast, or rather Fire Breath. That gives us a little bit of time to actually look at the talents, or does it? I'm just waiting a little bit to look at the talents that were picked up just now. Sheep moving in, Grimskull, he acted as if he was moving away from this one. Now Sheep is going in, there's Rekt coming in as well. Grimskull, together with his teammates, are forced to retreat. And the second tribute spawning on the side of SK. Not SK, on the side of Barely Online. So this tribute is going to be going over to Barely Online. Not much that Team Refuse can do about it. Things looking very bleak for Team Refuse here. It's only 6 seconds, although Grimskull moving in. There's the damage. It took a little bit of time to actually pop out. Cripple Pete forced to... Oh, the hook onto Destin, but is that really the one you want to hook? There's stun to Arkham. Destin take quite a bit of damage. The Sheep is coming in from the side. Here's the Hammerang. It should hit a 5-man target here. Rex barely able to escape here. Saka in a lot of trouble. There's Saka still trying to deal some damage. Arkham dangerously low. There's the Telesword from Saka. He's jumping straight into the fight again. If he explodes onto Grimskull, that should take him out. Green now in a lot of trouble. They know that the damage from Tyrael is just enough. That's going to take out Artis. Now they're on to BCCA. It's now Falstad against Stitches, and it should be Falstad who wins this battle. One more hit from Cripple Pete. That's all it takes. And it is Cripple Pete. He's successful, but he's still ticking away. Oh, that was so close. Look at that health bar. It was less than a sliver of his health bar, and that would have been enough for a kill onto Cripple Pete, and at least a second chance for Team Refuse to take this tribute here. For now, Barely Online have already gotten their heroic abilities. Divine Storm, Judgment, Shock and Awe, Storm Earthfire and Metamorphosis have been picked up by the team of Barely Online. To try and counteract this little advantage that Barely Online has, Refuse immediately picking up these Siege Giants in the bottom lane, but Barely Online immediately retaliating by picking up their own Siege Giants. So it's kind of like a game of back and forth playing, both teams doing a similar thing in this regard. Sheep and Rex coming in, they see Green, do they want to actually engage upon him? Actually they spot out Grimskull as well. Konus is there as well, but Konus has the hook. Oh, the hook actually catches onto Sheep. There's the Gorge, but that's not going to keep Sheep in the walls, because Sheep has the ability to kick over the gate. Sheep already taking quite a bit of damage, popping a Storm Earthfire, trying to deal as much damage as he can. There's the Metamorphosis as well, just to try and get them off Sheep. Sheep already lost one of his dudes, and will be able to actually escape, or... yeah, he's going to escape with two pan dudes. Tribute has spawned here, so Green is already on it. Void Prison, nicely done there by Grimskull, locking up both Saka and Destin, and both of them are able to actually escape here. And now Saka trying to get into position, he has his Judgment available, Divine Storm is also available, so this might be the perfect initiation time for the team of Barely Online. They're actually moving towards the Golem here. It's also an interesting choice here, because this might be turning out very, very badly. Green having a little bit of vision on his enemies. There's the Clairvoyance now coming out as well. Green still waiting here. Destin trying his best to just tank it up. Green now moving in. He's going to be the initiator here. As from the side, Grimskull, MBCAA are coming in. The stun onto Grimskull. Beautiful Divine Hurricane. Shock and Awe trying to take down Grimskull as fast as they can. The Ancestral Healing is going to keep him alive. Now Rex is in a lot of trouble. He's getting wrecked. That's the end of him. Saka in the background can't really get a kill down. Uther has already fallen. Cripple Pete now also in a lot of trouble trying to get out of there. The stun from Uther isn't all that much. And finally another tribute spawning on the side of Refuse. So Barely Online, they're going to lose their second tribute as Team Refuse is actually turning around onto the Golem. Or is Sheep deciding to go for the tribute? No, he decides, well, they're probably on the Golem. He spots out the entirety of the team of Refuse. Can't really do anything about the Golem. Immediately backs away from this one. And this Golem goes over to the team of Refuse. Refuse immediately rotating up. Most likely going to go straight towards the Golem here. Golem still waiting for anyone to pick it up. Falstad heading into the top lane. Going to try and deal some damage to these towers here. And this might be also the saving grace for Barely Online, as these towers are already gone, and he should be able to actually take out this fort if he desires to. A lot of damage being put down here onto the mercenary camp. That gets taken out by the team of Refuse. And now the tribute has spawned, and this is something you have to keep in mind here. What does the team of Barely Online want to do here? They already took down the Grave Golem, so they're immediately rotating up to the top lane, or rather, since they're going in a straight line, they're translating into the top lane. The Grave Golem is going to be taken out by the guys from Team Refuse. Actually, the curse, oh, it's just not close enough. Actually, the hook from Konus locking onto Cripple Pete, but because he was rooted, he wasn't moved at all. So the fight continues. This Grave Golem already knocking on the doors of this fort. Looks like Green is going to try and get themselves a tribute. Sheep immediately moving in. There's a lot of damage being put down here. Sheep still trying to tank it up with his fortifying brew. Saka coming in. There's a shock into the Divine Storm. The Green is in a lot of trouble. Rhaegar has already been taken out, so no ancestral healing. There's a Judgment on the BCAA. He gets taken out. Down onto Grimskull. He's going to fall. Or is he? He's trying to get out of it, but there's Sheep with the kick. Uther actually getting popped into Ghost Form, but it doesn't really matter as his team is already winning the fight. Cripple Pete with his barrel roll is able to just escape for just a little bit longer, but it isn't quite enough. And it is the team of Barely Online who are able to pick up the third tribute for them. And it's what a horrible night to have a curse.
My favor is yours, heroes. Your enemies shall fall.
And as a result, they can just push down onto this fort. That's going to be the end of this fort. Now that we have some time, we can actually take a quick look at the talents. Sprint, Imposing Will, Rewind, A Touch of Honey, Sixth Sense, Spell Shield, Relentless, Spell Shield, Mega Smash, and Spell Shield. Saka heading to the bottom lane, going to try and put down some damage there. Grimskull is there as well, so he's going to try and take out Saka here, but it's going to be a little bit hard. He has no minions, he has no fort. And Saka was one level higher than him. Sheep in the middle lane together with Rekt, trying their best to take out another batch of turrets. These are going to fall pretty fast to the hands of Barely Online. Barely Online looking for yet another engage here. They don't have their ultimates just yet. They need 5 more seconds until Shock and Awe. But if they actually decide to go in right now, they have the advantage of having their ultimates while their opponents do not. Finally, Refuse now also getting their ultimates back. Ancestral Healing, Army of the Dead, Void Prison, Gorge, and Rainer's Raiders. Mercenary Camp, Bruiser Camp being picked up by Barely Online here, going to send that one into the middle lane. Top lane, the Siege Giant Camp is going to be clearing out his wave. Most likely, Refuse will want to do something about that one. Saka and Sheep have already rotated to the bottom lane, going to take out these Siege Giants. And Barely Online, after losing a few fights, have been able to at least get themselves back into a commanding position. Imposing Presence, Blood for Blood, Afterburner, Combination Attack, and Hunter's Onslaught being picked up by the team of Barely Online, who are now also picking up a bottom fort as Team Refuse is moving into the middle fort. And on this side of Team Refuse, Stone Skin, Double Bombs, and the rest is unknown as of yet. Destin waiting for the engage here. Actually, Fishing Hook being picked up by Stitches, Lightning Bond being picked up by Rhaegar. And immediately the Metamorphosis. Here's the engaged Grimskull. He gets the Ancestral Healing. He will survive for just a little bit longer. Rainer's Rays have been popped as well. Rekt is coming in to try and take down Zeratul. Manages to actually take him down. BCAA doesn't get his regeneration because he was taken down just a little bit too fast. Kidwell Pete dealing so much damage from the side. He is completely ignored thanks to his team. His team is body blocking for him. There's finally the Shock and Awe. Takes out 2 heroes. And it's a 5-for-2 in favor of the team of Barely Online. And Barely Online will be able to at least take down yet another fort. And Rainer, not having picked up his talents, is still thinking about what he wants to be picking up. He's picked up the advanced optics and the steering attacks. And you would say he would go for Giant Killer somewhere along the lines as well. I believe Giant Killer is supposed to be here in the Spell Shield slot. But that's all up to Rainer indeed. Barely Online picks up the fort, picks up more towers, get himself more experience, and also have the ability to go straight towards the tribute here. 10 seconds before it spawns. Sheep immediately taking out this watchtower here. Smart move. Moving towards the tribute area. They have 6 seconds before actually that the channel time is. Grimskull now moving in. Rekt going to take a little bit of damage here. That's going to be the end of that channel. First channel has already been blocked. There's a second channel also getting blocked. The Fishing Hook not even close. But at least it forces Barely Online away. The ultimates are not available for both teams. Judgment is, Divine Hurricane is, and Crippled Pete still doesn't have his ultimate available. The sword coming out from Saka. He's not teleswording just yet. Now he is finally going to try and cancel out these channels as long as they can. Another Hammerang would use the Boomerang. Oh, there's the hook onto Uther. Not really the one they wanted to hook. Void Prison coming out. If the team of Barely Online wants to be fighting this one, they need to pop the ultimate. There's the ultimate coming out from Uther. Nice shock and all, but it isn't quite enough to take out BCAA. He is going to get taken out though, even with the Ancestral Healing, as Rainer goes down. Now Rhaegar is in a lot of trouble. He already went down. Stitches, he's the next target now. Finally Green, the final member of Refuse, will get taken out by Barely Online. And there's nothing they can do about it. These Banshees are going to get taken out as well, but another tribute going over to Barely Online. Very well played by them. And they're starting to extend their lead slowly but surely by the numbers. This is pretty much the same thing we saw in the previous round, or rather the previous game, where they also took the time to get themselves that slight lead, and then subsequently just went into position to try and take out their enemies. Now these Siege Giants are going to do a number on the gate, but should be taken out by Zeratul. Zeratul, on the hands of Grimskull, should be able to actually turn around if he so desires to try and take out these Siege Giants, who've already taken down the gate down to half hit points. Now here in the top lane, Barely Online, they're not really letting the grass grow over it, as they try to take down the Grave Golem, but nice clairvoyance there by the team of, or rather Farsight in the case of, let me see, it's Clairvoyance and Rhaegar with the Farsight, there we go. which is actually pretty much the same as the Clairvoyance, only a little bit low. Clairvoyance has a longer cooldown, so I imagine that Clairvoyance is put on heroes to balance it out. So yet another tribute going over to Barely Online. There's not much Refuse can do about this one. They have to let the tribute go. They're going to try and maybe catch someone by surprise. There's the Stallet Sword again from Saka. He's going to try and jump onto Grimskull. Grimskull, he's going to get spotted out. There's the Chug. One more hit. Yeah, that's the end of Grimskull. There's the Shock and All coming out. The successful healing really early there. The Sheep popping his ultimate as well. Judgment is available. Divine Hurricane will be popped. There's the ultimate from Uther. And they're going to try and take down Arkham. Arkham actually doesn't die yet before Falstad goes down. Falstad actually gets gorged by Conus, and it looks like Barely Online, with their level advantage, with their numbers advantage, is now slowly but surely taking out the entirety of Team Refuse. They have two tributes right now, and they're moving into the bottom lane to try and get themselves a keep. And well, ever since the beginning of the game, Team Refuse has been on 2 tributes, but they have never been able to get the third one. And once again, if we're looking at this game, it's going to be a horrible night to have a curse. Tributes actually, oh, this is an interesting choice here by the team of Refuse. Correction, Barely Online. They decide to take out the Bruiser Camp first, allow everybody to push in, because they don't need the tribute just yet. Which means that after they get the Mercenary Camp, now they can start picking up the tribute, because even if they wait this long, their opponents are never going to be on time to take it out. With the Mercenaries coming in as well, those are going to be given free reign here. And Ragna's Sheep are moving in onto the Grave Golem to try and take that one out. Farsight, as per you, spots them out. But there's not much that the team of Refuse can do about this one, because of the fact that, well, they have a curse on them. They have to fight back, they have to stop them. Sheep now jumping onto Conus, Grimskull coming in to try and deal some damage. But these bombs aren't effective enough. Sheep just tanking it up with the fortifying brew. And it's just a matter of time before this boss goes down. Actually, the turnaround happens. There's the Judgment straight to BCAA. He just gets melted, but eventually gets himself a little bit of healing with his passive as well as the accessory healing. But the Divine Hurricane from Uther is more than enough to lock up half of the team, or more than half of the team of Refuse. And now it's just cleanup duty for Barely Online. They take out the final hero, and Arkham goes down. They get a Grave Golem as well here. And during all of this, their mercenaries are on the course, as well as here on the gates and the towers. So with all this said and done, 30-second respawn timers for Team Refuse. Barely Online, moving in onto the core, will be able to take this one out, and they're going to close it out 2-0, and will advance to the playoff, rather the winner match of this round. And they're going to be playing against Mouse Sports.
Red team's core is under attack.
So now it is, yeah, you can see Grimskull, he's moving in, but he's just a little bit too late. Core is down, 2-0, Barely Online.